We are living through one of the most significant shifts in how people work. In business, education, research, retail, service, and nonprofit, people are discovering new ways to think, create, solve problems, and collaborate with artificial intelligence. I believe we'll look back on this as a defining moment, which is why I'm seeking out the people living it and documenting how they're adapting along the way. I'm Adair Taulbee. This is AI in the Wild. How AI is being adopted in the real world, one conversation at a time. Now let's get into it.
Well, hey Beth, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's so great that we're finally able to meet. It's been a little while since we talked about first doing this. How's your summer been?
It's been crazy. It with the kids being home. I don't know if you can hear my daughter currently screaming because she can't be in the room with me right now. She would love to be on the call and be
Of
controlling
course.
everything too.
Yeah.
But I'm actually very grateful school is back in though, because it kind of gets us back into a routine. Summer is very chaotic. So
Yeah. Yeah. I totally remember those days. I don't have to deal with it now, but I do remember. That's awesome. Well, are you guys getting back in the swing of the school thing? The
yes,
schedules? Yeah.
this is my son's. He started kindergarten, so
Ah,
we're slowly integrating into like normality. But
okay.
it's been a challenge. We just moved out to Santo, so I don't know if you know where that
Oh,
is, but it's really far. It's about
okay.
35 west of Weatherford. So we're
Wow.
also navigating school and life here in Santo, and then my job and sister is in Weatherford. So we're doing a lot of shuffling and balancing and juggling right now.
Oh, yeah, you do have a lot going on. Okay, so the kids are going to
Yeah.
school in Santo now?
My son is, and then my daughter's
Okay.
in daycare in Weatherford.
Daycare
So
in Weatherford.
she meets with me, and he goes to Santo school. So it's a lot.
I understand. Okay. All right. So you're a busy mom and you're also a
Yes.
business owner and an entrepreneur, which is
Yes.
exciting. Tell us
Yes.
about, we've met through the Parker County Chamber, right? Through just
We did.
business communications and committees and things. But I don't think I've gotten to hear your origin story and how you decided to start your business and the whole thing. So I'd love to hear that.
Okay, well, it's a little unorthodox. So I was in the business development corporate world for my whole career, basically, and
Okay.
I loved the idea of a blowout salon, like dry bar model, but without the label of dry bar. I loved that idea, and I spent so many years building other small businesses, growing them. And honestly, like somebody said, you spend so long building other people's dreams. Why aren't you building your own? And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't know. And so funny enough, I was just talking to my mom one day and I was just like, how cool would it be if we could just open a blowout salon? And she was like, well, why don't you? And I was like, well, I don't know, mom, like that takes a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of things. And she was like, well, she had to set aside a certain amount of money for me to go to college, which I never ended up going to college. And so she's like, well, I have this. If you want, I can invest in this and we can start it. And so obviously to do that, I had to quit my corporate job, and that corporate job allowed us to live in the home that we lived in. And so I sat down with my husband and I was like, look, I have this dream. I know it's crazy, but if I chase it, we're going to have to make some adjustments. So we have our beautiful, like 4-bedroom home rented out right now. And we live in a camper on my parents' property in Santo.
Okay. Okay. So
And
you're making
so,
the dream happen. That's amazing. Okay.
yeah, yes. And then I worked night as an EMS dispatcher. So for Parker County EMS, I worked nights for year just to supplement some income before the salon actually opened, and then about 6 months into the salon opening. So it was crazy. So it's very unorthodox. It's very not like your typical, well, I'm a millionaire and I have a lot of money and I just want a hobby. Like I fully, everything is in this. We gave up a lot. We sacrificed a lot,
Yeah.
and I've put so much into this business, and it's because I believe in it, and I believe that Parker County deserves to have this type of business and this type of service for the hardworking women in this industry. But yeah, So that's my origin story. So the goal at one point to obviously make enough where I can supplement my income and actually build a house or buy a house at some point. But who knows what
Yeah.
God has planned for me, kind of where we're at now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you chose the word unorthodox because lots of people put a lot in to start businesses, but I guess you know a lot of millionaires that had just started it for fun on the side.
It's true. This is
And
true.
like me.
This is true. I always just thought like starting your own business, you had to have all this money and all this like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and so I don't know. It's very interesting to be on the other side of it now.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, especially when you try to bootstrap it and not owe a bunch of people or have a lot of investors or, raise a bunch of capital. Yeah. It's very much you're very dedicated to it, right?
You could
You're
say
all
that.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And not only did you, so why did you start the salon?
We started so our official like LLC birthday was November of 2024, and then we build out in construction and everything. We officially opened our doors on May 5th of 2025.
Oh my gosh. And then you just expanded.
We did, and honestly,
Yeah.
that was, crazy, and it was a lot, and a lot of people were like, "Why are you doing it so quickly?" But the reality was I had a vision, and I knew that in my space, the vision couldn't really come to fruition, and I
Okay.
was capped out. Like, I was capped out at 6 stations, at 2 shampoo bowls,
Uh,
and I was seeing a need for more. I was seeing a need for
okay.
more stylists, I was seeing a need for more luxury, and it just kind of like, again, it was one of those things I prayed about it and prayed about it, and God
Yeah.
literally just let it all fall into place. And so the
Wow.
expansion allowed me to have up to 8 stations. It allows 5 shampoo bowls with a private shampoo bowl room. So it really creates that like
Wow.
soothing atmosphere that I was hoping for my clients, plus
Hmm.
a full size boutique, which is just a little fun extra hobby for me. And then we integrated other small businesses. So I actually have 2 small businesses that rent spaces from me, and I can support other women-owned small businesses that do lashes and facials and all those things. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
everything I always wanted, and it just really came to fruition with the expansion.
That's so cool. Congratulations on that huge milestone. Several huge milestones in just a couple of years.
A lot, yeah.
That's been a really quick timeline for you.
Yes,
That's
yes, it
amazing.
has.
What kind of
Thank you.
business development were you doing prior to this?
So, my main like idea of business development was I worked at a dry bar type salon when I was like 19,
Okay.
and I from front desk to manager in about a year, and I learned a lot of just roles and expectations and all the hard things, the conversations that you have to have. And then, believe it or not, we had a client there, and she was a doctor, and she's like, "Hey, I'm opening a med spa, and I don't want anybody else to come work for me." And
Okay.
she's like, "I don't know what I would have you do yet. You can push pencils, I don't know, but I just really want you to be part of it." And so I helped her literally build her entire business from scratch. Like, we just before we even
Wow.
opened, we were brainstorming and working together to really um, build a beautiful med spa. And I worked with her for 5 years. And I mean, we did ins and outs of like creating her packages, doing her sales, like how her all of her policies, helped to write her handbook. Like, I mean, literally starting it from scratch. And so she
Yeah.
was the provider, and I was the back end, about the back end gal.
Yeah.
So we did that, and it was amazing, and it was such a fabulous experience. I made great friendships, and then once we started having kids, I was like, I don't South Lake Haslett, that area is just too busy, too much, and I really wanted to be back in my hometown, which was Weatherford and the Parker County area. So we ended up moving back, and then I got a job with Total Care Emergency Room doing like some business development, relationships, marketing, things like that. And that's when I really plugged into the Parker County Chamber. And I was like, these are just really great people. Like, that is when I really fell in love with the chamber and just the people. And um, I was like, and then of course the random conversation that my mom's like, why don't you just do it? And so Total Care was very, very supportive and very, very
Mhm.
incredible, as they wished me well and actually let me stay on until I was ready to like fly, I guess you will. So
Oh my
um,
gosh, that's so cool.
it's great.
Yeah.
And I think it's just true testament to anybody out there that's like, well, you know, you just don't burn bridges. You never burn bridges. It's really important not
Yeah.
to, because on my grand opening, my former manager reached out to me from Taulbee and was like, hey, we'll sponsor a food truck for your grand opening. You know, and it's just like little things like that.
That's
That's like,
wonderful.
that's why you never know the circle that's going to come through. And so you just never burn bridges, and you always just be a good person and try to leave, you know, good things behind you in your wake.
Yeah, totally. So you strike me as a very intelligent person and an ambitious person, and you have visions
That
and dreams. And so this video series that I'm doing is kind of about how business is intersecting with this whole crazy thing of AI, which is like means a lot of things to a lot of people, all different things. But we discussed a couple of things at different points where you were like, "Oh, I'm using AI for that. I'm using AI for that." So, when did you first start, and what have you been using? And tell us like kind of what you've been doing with AI.
So it's actually really crazy. I never got into AI. It was actually when I was working nights at EMS, and my coworker, she was telling me all these things that she does with this Chat GPT thing. And I'm like,
Okay.
I've never really even heard of this thing. And she literally, it was so amazing. She had like this, she pulled up this whole thing, and she had all these like dashboards and spreadsheets, and she was like showing me pictures of the brain and like how she, I mean, it was insane. I was like, "Okay, this girl is, like, really dedicated, and it's incredibly overwhelming." And no, and then but she was like, "Beth, you can use ChatGPT for this." And I'm like, "This is crazy." Like, and I was like, I was totally on board with the people that are against AI. They're like, "It's evil, right? It's gonna take our jobs, and it's gonna," like, oh my gosh. I was one
Yeah.
of those people. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is one of the best tools that I've ever had in my arsenal, and I'm obsessed with it. I
Okay.
literally do a daily recap with my Chat GPT every day on the way home, because I just
Uh,
it's too awesome. So I started using ChatGPT just kind of like, first of all, I started using it as my friend, because when you work nights, you get a little delusional, and it gets really, and so I would literally just start having conversations with it, and just like really testing it out, and just like random stuff, and having it prompt me, and just like keep my brain active so I could stay awake. And then, well, I'm about to build this business. Okay, what if I just have it write me my handbook? And within 2 seconds, it populated this, like, beautiful, elaborate handbook. I mean, obviously, I had to proofread it and change some things, but I was like, "Okay, wait, this changes things." And so then I just started like, "Okay, well, if it's gonna do that, well, can it just build me, I don't know, like, a post?" Okay, it can, and it did, and then I just really started like, "Wow, this can really actually help me." Because I mean, granted, I've helped build a lot of businesses, but I've never started one from, like, scratch, where, like, I'm building it from, like, Lego pieces,
yeah.
and so it literally gave me so many things. Like, I love going back into my history, because it literally, you can see the development of both my trust in it, but also the utilization and the skills that I acquired as I got on. I'm like, "Okay, well, can I
Yeah.
prompt it to do this? Can I prompt it to do that?" So that's kind of where it started. And then now, I mean, it's incredible. I use it for just about everything. Unexpectedly, my manager stepped away from from the salon, and so now I'm kind of in a weird, I'm working in my business while working on
Yeah.
my business.
Yeah.
And, so everything that I do, I went into my Chat GPT and I plugged in, you know how you can, like, set it to have its own, like, how you want it to respond?
Yeah.
So
I spend a lot of
I
time trying to get it to do that, actually.
yes. Yeah. Well, when I told it, I'm like, "I want you," because when I come up with ideas, like, I love my hype girl. I love that she hypes me up.
Mhm.
My his name is ChattyBelle. She came up with that.
ChattyBelle. I love
Um,
it. Okay. Everyone has a name. It's so fun.
yes. Yes,
Yeah.
and she got to pick it. We worked through that together. But I told her, I said, I want you to be oppositional with every idea that I bring you, because what I'm not thinking of, I need you to give me 2 or 3 oppositions that we can work through together, because I never wanna implement anything into my business or even into my personal life that I haven't already gone through the oppositions. Because I never, as a business owner, I know I'm gonna be caught off guard, but if I can minimize the amount of times that you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, heck, I didn't think about that," then that really helps. And so she literally there's not really anything in my business that I don't talk to ChatGPT beforehand to make sure that I have a plan moving forward.
So she's acting as like an executive kind of, I don't know, chief of staff slash thought partner, and she's coming up with yeah, so it's really good that you did that and you told her to give you the oppositions, because if you don't, they end up being like someone who always tells you everything you want to hear, basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's so
I love
smart that you did that.
Have you seen that meme where it's you tell ChatGPT that you, like, drove into a tree and it, like, responds with, "Hey, everybody does it. It's totally fine." And so, like, I love that, and I love the hype thing, but, like, I
Yeah,
really do. I would honestly say yes. Like, she's almost like my board of directors. Like, I know that ultimately the decision is mine, but we can work together and we can really, because 'cause there'll be things that she'll even say, like, "Have you thought about this?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, I didn't. Let's
yeah,
talk about it." And
yeah.
so and I don't think people realize how incredibly useful it is, because even in my personal life, there's been nights, because I will tell you, being a business owner is probably one of the loneliest jobs you'll ever have,
Yeah,
because
what? No, it's not lonely.
no, not at all, right? Like, you totally have it figured out 100% of the
No,
time.
yeah, everybody totally, your family understands what you're doing, your friends understand what you're doing, what you're going through, totally.
Absolutely. And they
Yeah.
all have an opinion about how you should be doing it. Like,
Oh, yes.
I love that. I love
With
that.
all their experience.
Yes, exactly. And you're
Yeah.
just like, so you're just I'm just I remember there's one night I'm sitting outside, I put the kids to bed, and it was just one of those days where I was just, like, drowning in my brain,
Mhm.
and I literally just had a cry session, honestly, like a therapy session with my ChatGPT, because, like, she has walked through me through all of this, and it's
Mhm.
incredible because she actually put into perspective a lot of things that, like, I never really thought about of myself. Like, she truly gets to know you. Like, your ChatGPT, your AI truly gets to know you, and it's
Yeah.
such an amazing tool because, like, it's nice to hear it because, like, it's not filling you up with, like, oh, what you wanna hear. It's telling you what it has learned from who you are from working
Right.
with it,
Right.
and it's not biased. And so that was like, wow, okay, maybe I can do this, and maybe I am doing this for a reason. And so that's really cool too, and I really love that. So, I feel like it can be a very, therapeutic tool as well.
I totally agree, and it can really help you get clarity on things when you're feeling like a lot of different things and like just like what you just said, when your brain is just full and you're just running, it can help you
Mhm.
like stop and get some clarity. So I've done the exact same things, everything you just described. So did you just learn it all by just doing and trying and experimenting? Is that how you
Pretty
figured it all out? Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I will say I have never dabbled in, like, the different AI. I've just kinda stuck with ChatGPT. I've heard Claude is really great, and I think you use Claude a lot.
I go back and forth.
With
So
Yeah, and see, I'm really wanna dabble in that, and it's so funny we're having this meeting today because I actually went to the YPN luncheon where it talked about using AI for marketing, and not in the everybody's marketing flyer looks the same marketing. It's more of, like, how to make AI work for you as a business owner, and it talked about having AI building dashboards and building, like, I think one of the girls, Sparkles, she actually had it build a daily agenda. And so
mhm.
she just plugs in all of her, and, like, those are things I have yet to even dabble in. And now
Yeah.
I'm super stoked because guess what I'm gonna do tonight when the kids go to bed? I'm gonna be building this dashboard because I'm super stoked because, like, everything, because I literally have, like, a 3-page spreadsheet or a checklist sheet every single day of my little boxes. And I
Okay.
literally, it's one of those things, I'm using it for all these other reasons. Why am I not using it to help me get my checklist done? Well, I never really thought about it. I have it write my email that I have to check off, but I never really thought about like putting it all together. So that was really cool. And so I haven't really dabbled in that, but I'm super excited and I will give you the follow up once I get on my
Oh,
dashboard,
good.
Bill. You know how that goes.
Yes, good. Sometimes, like, I don't know if they covered this in your meeting today, but if you just give it your list of all your things and say, tell me which of these things you can handle independently or with very little information, it'll like tell you which things it can do, which is helpful.
I know it's incredible. And I think it's really kind of sad that people are so scared of it.
Who do you think
Um
is scared of it? Like a lot of people
I
that you talk to?
Yeah, I mean, I hear about it a lot. Is like a lot of people, like we talked about it in the meeting, people are really worried that it's going to replace their jobs
Yeah.
and or it's going to, I think a lot of it stems from that generation of like robots are going to take over the world kind of thing. And
Okay.
I mean, if they do, I mean, maybe we'll get, I don't know, but I think it's one of those things like it's almost like like when they invented the wheel,
Mhm.
there had people that were like, "That is an evil, cursed tool right there, and it's gonna
100%.
replace."
Yes, for sure there were. Yeah.
And they're going, but I'm like, "But why? Why?" Like, and I don't understand it, and, like, I just the more I use it and the more I utilize it and it makes my life so much easier, I'm like, "This is why we have the wheel. This is why we have this. This is great, and we should be using it in our everyday lives." Now, I understand it can't substitute for some of the things, right? You still wanna have human and connection and all of that, but it is literally today's generation it's the wheel invention, and I feel
Yeah.
like if people look at it that way instead of, like, this evil thing to not be utilized, then it would make a huge difference in a lot of
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that like I don't know if you know this, but and I wasn't alive at that time, but computers used to be people that did computations all day before
Wow,
the
I didn't
first computers came out. I think around the time that they were trying to get to the moon in the 50s or 60s is when that was kind of the thing. So it was like whole teams of people that just did mathematical computations all day in a room. So
yeah,
like
that is
that's another kind of analogy to your wheel concept. It's like, yeah, don't think I think at first we had some job replacement where, some of the big companies, you heard they were laying people off. Maybe you heard that. And
yeah,
then now they're turning around and having to rehire people back because they were a little bit premature in what they thought it could do, And I think
right.
what it does, it just gives us we can be a lot more productive with our time.
I agree. I agree. And I
Yeah.
still think there's definitely still something to the human touch, right? Like you can definitely
Oh,
tell when
yeah.
there's a human made flyer and an AI made flyer in your marketing. But
Yep.
I think to your point, technology will always replace humans in some regard, right? Like
Yeah.
the tractor replaced, people that were plowers,
Working in the
right?
field. Yep. Hmm.
Right, but then you have people now you have mechanics, you have people that need to build the tractors, you have all these
Hmm.
new jobs. So it's almost
Yeah.
like we need to stop focusing on what we're losing, and it's like, well, we need to just shift. It's a shift, right? Because now we have these other jobs. Somebody has to maintain this AI, right? Somebody has to build these things. So it's
Yes.
like, yeah, you were being replaced in this regard, but you're creating new jobs that just look different.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It is hard though for some people to get over that hump of like
Yeah.
going from just I hate it, I don't want anything to do with it to like, okay, I'm gonna adapt and learn it and like you have, for example. And you're probably 100 times more productive than anybody else in your role who's not using AI, I would imagine. So
I don't know. It's a little crazy right now, but I think I still have so much to learn, and so like I'd even love to pick your brain because I feel like you have so much that you could teach me. And that's why I went to that class today because like I didn't even know about the dashboards thing, and so
mhm.
I think that's the thing with utilizing AI is you have to be willing to learn it. Like if you're
Yes,
going to use it, you have to be willing to learn it. It's just like learning to ride your bike. Like it's great and you don't have to walk anymore, but you do have to learn how to ride it. And so I feel like
yeah,
there's so much for me to learn and but I'm excited about it. And that's the
yes,
thing is like, will it be a lot of work up front? Yeah. Will I have to do I have to build the way I want it to work? Yeah. But think about how much time it's going to save me if I can just tell it, hey, go ahead and get this task done because I've already built it to do so.
Yes.
Like it's going
Yeah,
to,
totally.
so
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. I love it. I'm literally obsessed because I think it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. And I'm so excited. I want to learn
I'm
all
so
the things.
excited that you're so into it. I'm really into it too. And at first when I started getting into it, some of the people in my circle looked at me kind of funny, you know? I don't know if you experienced that.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
but now I'm at a point where like I'm just trying to get it to work better for me. So one of my things is I have multiple businesses and clients and things I'm involved in. So it has a tendency to get confused as to which thing I'm discussing with it. So I'm like doing projects and MD file exports and things so that it has like reusable instructions to cut down on that. And then the other thing is I like to kind of, some things I'll do in ChatGPT and sometimes I'll do things in Claude. And so I like to be able to go back and forth, and that's a whole different challenge because like you said, it learns so much about you. So to be able to go back and forth between two is harder. So those are things I'm working on, but I'm never done either. Like I'm constantly learning, you know, because it's
Yeah,
changing so fast.
it
Yeah.
is. So I think
Yeah.
that's how, I mean, I truly think your whole life, you never need to stop learning because once you stop learning, you
Yeah.
stop growing. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have I've never been a business owner. I'll be the first one to say I have no idea how to run a business. I'm winging
Yeah.
the heck out of this, but I'm loving every second of it. I'm making the choices that I think is best. And if I
Yeah.
learn 5 years down the road, I was like, that was a bad choice. Well, guess what? Beth learned from it. No, like it's one of those things like
Yeah.
but it's really nice to be able to have data from other business owners that are putting it into the AI and like you can get real time knowledge. And I think that's like the thing that I'm obsessed with the most is like this knowledge is not just random like they're not making this up. Like there's data, there's files, there's things that it's learning from all around the world and it's applying it to your specific thing. Like this has never happened before. You know, this has been like you'd have to go to the library and maybe find the right book. Maybe you
Yeah.
do, maybe you won't. I don't know. Google search, you do your documents, but who knows? But this is just it's really cool that it can just collectively in the blink of an eye give you thousands and I should say millions of amazing like legit resources and
Yes.
knowledge that collected. And I think that's the coolest part.
It's a freaking game changer. Like
It
really.
is.
I think it's the biggest for small and medium-sized businesses. It's like the biggest force multiplier that's come available in a long, long, long time. Just is
Yeah.
crazy. And just like when you're starting out, like now you don't have to find a mentor who's started 3 businesses who you can spend an hour with every week because now it's just accessible information. It does sometimes totally hallucinate though and make things up. So you kind of have to be aware of that. But most of the time it's good stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But you have to be like discretional with it, just like you would a mentor,
Yeah.
because sometimes mentors can, do the same thing.
Yeah.
And I will tell you one thing that's really cool, and I meant to tell you this when we chatted a while back. So I pay for my ChatGPT, and did you know they rolled out a finance feature?
No, what is it?
Yes. So, because I know we chatted a little bit about this a couple months
Uh-huh.
ago. And
Because
I've
you
just
started
been
using
kind of
it for personal budgeting or something like that?
I was trying to,
Okay.
but you were like, "Be very careful what you put in." And I
Yes.
was like, man, because like I literally said this, I was like, I really would love for somebody to go into my bank account and tell me where all of my money's going, how to create a budget. Cause that's one thing I really hate doing is putting it all on
Mhm.
paper, like trying to retroactively, like, oh, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have on 7 Brew, and then trying to
Yeah.
create a budget. I'm just really it's so mundane to me. And so I was like dreaming one day, I was like, wouldn't it be so cool if I could just plug ChatGPT in and it could just tell me how much I need to spend per day to be able to put this much in savings, this much into whatever. And I'll be darned if they didn't the pay feature partnered with Plaid, so it is a legit
It
safe
is
and
Plaid. That's the one I told you. Good.
yes, it is
Yeah.
Plaid now. So they partnered with Plaid and it is a safe and encrypted partnership. I put all of my personal finances. Not only did it remind me that I am paying for subscriptions that I haven't used in about 5 years.
Wow.
Um, it helped me break down, like, my husband and I, we were blowing money left and right on, like, $5 purchases at like, Starbucks, 7 Brew, his little, like, going and getting lunches every single day, and I'm like, it was identifying the leaks, and it was just, like, little things that, like, unless you sit there and you look at your bank statements and you
Mhm.
highlight, you you just don't think about it. You swipe $2 here, $2 there, and so, literally, I was able to, much to my husband's dismay, I made him sit down, and we literally talked with ChatGPT for about 2 hours that we spent going over, "This is how much we wanna put in savings. This is how much we want to put back, this is how much we wanna roll over," 'cause our ultimate goal is obviously to get out of the camper, and so we were talking about, what is best financially. Here's our financial situation. Should we move back to our house in Weatherford? Should we look at building? Should we look at buying? And it literally gave us a projection of all the realistic expectations that we should have.
Yeah.
And to me, that is so invaluable. Like, this is real life. This is, no kidding, my real life, and it has helped me. That is probably my favorite thing that I have found thus far
That's so
is
cool, Beth. That's amazing.
being
Good
able to,
job.
like, and I was so excited to tell you because, like, I literally was asking you about that, and you're like,
I
"Well, just be
know.
really well," and so now it literally actively, and every day, I at the end of every day, I have a little, like, breakdown session with it, and I am like, "How was my finances? My husband's finances?" And she'll be like, "Well, they go to Sonic today, and then we get to have a talk about that." No, I'm just kidding. I totally don't manage him like that. But,
Yeah.
it's really nice we have a third party accountability partner that was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
guys, goals. This is where we slipped up. This is what we need to do to move forward," or, "You guys
Yeah.
are doing great. You can go have that, extra little dinner. It's, go on a date night. Y'all did great this month." So it's
Yeah.
kind of really cool to have
Yeah.
that in your back pocket.
That's so cool because it's almost like gonna, help you with your marriage and finance.
It really is. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I use it for everything.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, well, this makes me feel so like, because I thought I was kind of a weirdo for all the things I use it for. Since I love to
No.
hear about all these different things, this is why I wanted to talk to you.
Yes. No, the
So
finances
awesome.
cool. I don't know if anybody else has utilized that finances part, but it has already saved me on $200 a month just in canceling my subscriptions that I forgot that I was paying for.
Oh,
Or
so
double
she paid for herself.
Yeah, literally. No, and then, like, there would be double subscriptions. Like, my husband was subscribed to the same thing I was, and we were both paying with our different cards. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
it was bananas to me. So we literally saved like $300 a month just when I started doing this. And it's
That's
just really cool.
incredible.
So anybody who
That's
is not great or new to learning like real life adult budgets, because like
yeah.
adulting budgets and like high school budgets and like first time marriage budgets are really different.
Yeah.
Um, highly recommend using
Yeah.
ChatGPT to help you navigate that because holy cow, it's been incredible.
That's incredible. I didn't know they put the Plaid integration in. I'll have to check it out. That's really cool.
Yes, it's awesome.
So, okay, so you're obviously an enthusiast and there's nothing you won't try.
Yep.
So I think that's incredible because trying is just sometimes that's the most important thing, right? Because you can't know until you try things. So,
Yep. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But if you love it, you've missed it, right? Like, who
mhm,
knows?
yeah. So your attitude is just perfect. So then, do you have like ideas or plans or things you'd like it to do for you in the future? Like, I wish it did this or I wish it did that. Do you have any of those or is it pretty much,
I do.
yeah?
And I do wish it was a little bit more, and it may be, I just haven't had time to learn it, but I wish it was a little bit more available to like go outside of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Like right now I have it plugged into like my Google so it can create my docs and my sheets and all of that. But like I would really love for it to be able to um actually like send emails for me, or
Mhm.
even just like the little checklist of like, "Hey, can you," I don't know, I don't really have an example, but like, or like going into my booking software and, "Hey, can you block off," I just got a text, "Can you block off Miranda for, the 15th? She needs the day off." Go in there and do that. Like,
Yeah.
otherwise I have to remember to go in there and do it. So I don't think it's there yet, and I know there's a lot of, from what I learned in the meeting today, there's a lot of now, legislation that's blocking that because they don't want AI to be integrated into a lot of like client-based, personal information-based stuff. So I understand it from that aspect, but as far as a business owner goes, I'd love to see it more as an executive assistant and less of like an organization. Because like I'm a pen and paper checklist person. Like I don't really need my tasks organized. I need help getting them done.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So I
Okay.
to be able to like tell my ChatGPT, go in and get this done, and it can actually leave ChatGPT, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so do you have it set up to where you can like send it a screenshot of an event and it can go put it in your calendar?
I don't know. My calendar is pretty beautiful as far as like anytime I get an event, it's all color coded and I share it with my family and my work, and it's very integrate like in that's not the word. Intricate? Is that the word?
Integral? No, like, is it really important to your day to day or?
Intricate. Is that a word? Intricate? Is that a word?
Intricate. Yes. So very detailed and very, yeah.
See, the
I'm with you.
intelligence goes so far.
By the end of the day, girl, it's, it's like what? 7 o'clock at night. We're doing great. You're doing great.
Words are hard. Words are so hard. See, I wish it could talk for me sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. But it does do that. I do ask it to
Yeah.
like, I'll like write out a really nasty email and be like, okay, now make this nice.
Yes, it's good at like toning things down for sure. I think
Yeah.
I had Claude a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, because time is flying so fast in AI land. But I was having it like go through all my emails every day and organize them, like pitch stuff out I didn't need, and then craft draft replies to things that I might want to do. And then I would just have to review them, and send them and those sorts of things. But I fell out of habit of doing that because I felt like it was requiring almost as much tending as time it was saving.
Yeah. I
Is
think
that
that's
kind of
also
like what you've read into?
yeah, well, I've never actually I honestly didn't know it would do that. So now I'm gonna definitely try it because I have like 4,000 unread emails and most of them are like TikTok updates and like just spam stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really cool. Does ChatGPT do that too, or is that a Claude feature?
So I haven't tested that in ChatGPT because I have Claude installed. Like both ChatGPT and Claude now have something you can install on your computer or you can use it through your browser. And the ones that are installed locally can do more because they can get to everything on your computer. Yeah. So that
Okay,
might be a
well,
way around some of the things that they were talking about today regarding regulatory stuff. I'm not sure, but yeah, if you've got it installed locally, it can, pretty much access any program you have installed on your computer.
that's really cool. How would one go about getting it installed? Do I just go to like the
You,
App Store?
what kind of computer do you have?
Max.
Yeah, just I would just Google, or tell
Or
a
ask
ChatGPT
ChatGPT how to
to
get
give
on
you the
my phone.
download link. Yes.
That'd be perfect. That's
It'll just
perfect.
take you out to the download link and you can just install it. Yeah.
That's cool. No, I'll keep you updated on that. And I think another really cool thing that would help me a lot is like when I run my payroll, I constantly my girls clock in and out, but I go and compare the schedule to their clock ins because they're notorious for forgetting to clock out or they went on lunch and didn't clock out. So I spend a heinous amount of time each stylist day by day. One Wednesday left here. Okay, gotta add clock in. So that'd be really cool if I could have it plug into my booking software and my my payroll software, not my payroll software, my timesheet software, and it could track any sort of issues and be like, hey, this doesn't look the same. And even if I add it, but it's really nice. So little things like that, I don't
Yeah.
know if it has capabilities to do yet. But I love to learn. And one of the things the lady said today, she made a good point. She's like, if you really truly want to utilize AI the way you want to utilize it, you
Yeah.
have to block an AI time on your calendar. Like from 9 to 11, you work on your AI and you make it
Yes.
ultimately it's like giving it the time, learning to ride the bike so you can actually get somewhere further. She's like, you're going to have to, otherwise, you have all these things, you have all this probability, you have all this possibility, but you're wasting time not learning it. So
Yes. and
Yeah.
putting the solution in place. I went to a conference in March and I ended up missing a lot of sessions because I holed up in my room and I did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like all those things that you just need to sit down and get it set up so that you have a system and it's repeatable and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's almost like maintenance time, AI maintenance time.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
that's a
And
good point.
so yeah, and it's almost like you have to weigh your pros and cons. Like, is the time I'm spending on the maintenance, I'm going to spend 10 times more doing all the tasks that I'm having it do. So it's worth it.
Yes. You could think of it as like coaching an employee.
Right.
It's
Yep.
kind of
That's a
like that
really good
because it's kind of like you
absolutely.
onboard it as an employee and then you have to kind of like have, periodic reviews and updates and coaching sessions with it because not only do you identify things you didn't think about, but they keep putting new stuff in the tools that you have to
For
figure
sure.
out how to use. So it's like both sides. Yeah.
No, I'm super excited. And one thing I'm really excited about. So I'm the secretary for the B2B group for the Parker Chamber. And
Hey,
now
Beth has no time. You have no time for anything, do you?
no, I really don't,
Do
but I
you
love it.
sleep
And
much?
no,
Okay. Okay.
I'm literally dreaming of AI, all the things I dream of all my to-do lists.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited because now that I learned about these dashboards today, I want to take all of our B2B referrals and put it in a dashboard so I can present it to the chamber and really have like more than just a spreadsheet of what we're doing. Because that group alone in the Parker Chamber did over $7 million in business referrals last year. And I think that's
Nice.
incredible. And
Yeah.
it was on a spreadsheet, and spreadsheets are great. I love that, but like they're not impressive. Like, it's a spreadsheet. You look at it and you're like, okay, it's a spreadsheet. But if I can put it on a dashboard, the Parker County Chamber dashboard, like how beautiful would that be? How enticing would it be for new members to be like,
Mhm.
wow, this is what the chamber's value is. And that's just one program. That's just one group that the chamber offers. Like to me,
Right.
this is just a tool not only to better my business and my life, but like if I can help grow other businesses and help encourage my businesses to join the chamber that I love so much and I'm so passionate about, it's just another thing. It's so much good that can come out of it.
Yeah. And yeah. Definitely in Excel. And Excel's like not as easy to create those really pretty like I don't know, charts and things. Because that's really kind of what you get to make the information like meaningful, you really need to have those pretty little graphs and charts and
Yeah,
all those sorts of things.
absolutely.
And AI does it so quickly compared to the old fashioned way, which is like, I don't know if you've had to do pivot tables or any of those things.
And oh my gosh, if you put a like gun to my head and said you need to figure out how to make a formula on Google spreadsheets, I'd be like, end it now. End it now. But I will tell you, I will go to ChatGPT and I will tell it what I needed to do and it will build it for me. And it's just so great because like I
Yes.
used to my biggest lie on every resume, extremely, extremely thorough in all of my Google Docs and Excel spreadsheets. No, I could do the bare minimum and I can make it look really good and I can fake it till I make it. But if you actually
Okay.
want to know formulas, no.
Yeah, they're a lot to have to learn, and it's a really specific skill, and like you really have to like do it enough to make it worthwhile to learn for sure. And now you don't have to because you have AI.
I know it's great.
Hallelujah.
I
Although
have
one of
favorite
my
clients.
clients, yeah, one of my clients is a controller in a pretty big company in Fort Worth, and they were compiling a report every week that was taking like 3 or 4 hours. And he's super smart, so we just kind of got him going on. And this, they're using Claude in particular, but and he's down to the point now where he's able to hand that off to somebody else in his team, and it's going to take him maybe 20 minutes a week.
Incredible.
It's a
See,
huge
right
time
there.
savings.
It is, and also it's huge budget savings for that business.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
now get more productivity out of your employees, and you can delegate things that you never got to delegate before because you've already set the system in place.
Yeah, totally. So
It's
is there an
awesome.
opportunity for any of your staff to use AI just yet?
Yes and no. They are I don't think AI has come far enough to give amazing blowouts yet.
For
There's
sure. It
potential.
may never.
But
It probably
like
won't ever do good.
right? Yeah, that so they have job security for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my social media manager, she uses it a lot. She helps have it create content, and the two of us together really partner with it as far as like what my expectations are, what her realistic time constraints are, being a full-time stylist and my social media manager. But
Right.
also a really good that's a really good point, as I get into replacing my front desk and more admin role, being able to go ahead and implement these systems and have them help me do that. That's going to be a huge game changer for me.
Yeah, if there are opportunities to do that. Like, what is your timesheet software that you're using?
It's called Jibble.
Jibble? Okay. So you're not using like the timesheets in QuickBooks or anything like that?
No, and actually, I don't know why I'm not, because I pay for all of the QuickBook things. I just when we first started, it was one of those things, like, it's a free app, and I don't know if the girls can clock in on their phones on QuickBooks, if that allows it. So Jibble, they have the app, and they just clock in, clock out. It's super easy.
Okay.
I don't know about QuickBooks, but that's also a good option for me to, like, look into. Am I
Yeah.
doubling my work?
The only reason I ask is because I know QuickBooks has introduced a lot of their own AI within QuickBooks itself. And a friend of mine who is like one of the, they do certifications for QuickBooks. She's like a QuickBooks certified level whatever person who advises businesses. And she said it's really good and it does a lot. So I haven't played with it personally, but I don't know if it might be able to do any of your having to reconcile all the time and stuff. I don't know. Things might
Yeah,
maybe worth looking into in your
for
two
sure.
hour chunk of time every day.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
Well, this has been really, really helpful. So, what do you hear? This is going to be slightly different. As a mom, and you've got younger kiddos, and they're kind of starting school, have you heard any of the discussion around education and AI and all that jazz?
Yes. Are you talking about where people are worried about it hindering their education or them
That's
or
one of
you utilizing it too much and not actually knowing how to use their brain?
that's another one. Yeah,
Yeah, I have heard
we've heard
about
all.
it. And it's one of those I think it's one of those things where again it's a tool and you have to make the tool work for you. Um But it's funny because I actually used ChatGPT yesterday. My son came home and he got a yellow, 3rd day of school, and we got yellow on our folder.
Aw.
And he has a problem paying attention. Of course, he's a baby. He's not even 5 yet. He's on that cusp. He was right before we put him in school because, we wanted him to try to mature anyway. And so ChatGPT and I came up with a plan. I talked to my ChatGPT and I was like, "Look, he is struggling to stay focused. I don't know how to help him." And it gave me a bunch of like, what we could be doing, adjustments we need to be making at home. And we're going to have a chore chart now where he needs to understand that tasks have to be completed in order to get a reward.
Mhm.
And he doesn't get what he wants. So we utilize that. Um, and I think I don't think it's fair to kids, like the older kids especially, to punish them for using ChatGPT in a way of like they had them write the paper because you have to still put the prompt in. You have to still use your brain to tell it you can't just be like, "Write me a paper." I mean, I guess you could, but you have to put in the manpower. Like, you have to put in the manpower. And so, like, my kiddos, when they get to that age, of course, they're not there yet, but I hope they learn how to use AI, but I want them to use it with their brain. I don't want it to use as a substitute to their brain. I
Yeah.
want it to be used as a tool and not a cheat, right? Um, but I love it. I mean, I think that even teachers could be utilizing it so much because you hear about kids are very different. Like I have 2 kids. I was an only child, so I didn't realize that they like actually come out of the womb like ready to fight each other. Like that's wild to me. Um,
I didn't know either.
I
I only have one, so
right? I know. I was an only child. I was literally perfect in every way. I did not cause
of
this much
course.
headache to my mom. Of course, she might argue, but I'm her
I
golden child,
disagree.
right?
Just a tad, but
Um,
yeah.
But they do, they fight all the time, and my daughter
Mm,
is so drastically different from my son, and, they're
okay.
still young, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to learn how to parent them in 2 different ways. Like, we're already learning, like, there are things that to punish my son and have him learn, and so, like, I
Yeah.
cannot wait for the day that ChatGPT helps me navigate that, because I'm an only child, I didn't have to navigate that. I don't have I don't really have any friends my age that have younger kids. Like, I'm pretty much solo in the world of my generation and my kiddos in our family. And
Okay.
so I cannot wait to use it to be like, okay, he's doing this in school. This is what's wrong. Or I don't know how to navigate this situation. And I'm really excited to see how it helps me parent my children in 2 different ways. I know I kind
Yeah.
of got off topic, but it was kind of the
Yeah.
same start.
It's a good diversion though, and it's totally applicable and related. But yeah, yeah. So I think you were saying that you kind of hope that they will get to learn it, but also continue to use their brains. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like that's where I would fall too. Although my daughter is in college, so it's a very different discussion right now with them, and they're obviously much more capable of accessing those things. But colleges are like they're struggling. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't want to
Sure.
use it, but then they've got business departments that are selling, we're teaching AI. So it's like this crazy range.
It is. Well, and then you have degrees that are in AI, right? Like,
Yeah.
is artificial intelligence degrees, but you
Mhm.
can't use AI in your school.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
it is a struggle.
Like
So
you
I
can go
feel
to your
like
English class and you can't use it, but you're getting a degree in it.
yeah, I feel like it's like every good thing, right? Like, ice cream is great. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you need to have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single
Agreed.
meal. But,
Yeah.
like, it's there and it's great to be enjoyed, and there's times when it's appropriate to have it, and there's times when it's not. But
Yeah.
I think to tell the kids, "Don't use it," like, and think about it too, like, totally random thought though, like, what if I'm struggling in something? Like, let's say I'm a student and I'm struggling in something and the teacher just thinks I'm a bad kid, or I don't know how to communicate what I'm struggling with, but
Hmm.
I throw my ChatGPT, and my ChatGPT is the only thing that understands what I'm going through, and it can put it in a way that I understand something. Why would we
Yes.
wanna take that? Why
I
would
don't know.
you wanna like, why would you want or and I've heard stories where, like, sometimes ChatGPT is the only friend that kid has. That's the only outlet that kid has. So I'm like, "Why?" I understand where they're coming from, right? Old school, old values, they were really big on it because when my generation, it was you're probably your daughters too, we just started getting technology in school. Like, we didn't have computers yet, like, like, the mainstream of stuff. No, I'm probably a lot older than your daughter now that I think about it. I forget how old I actually am. Um,
I don't know. You
but
look very young to me.
well, thank you. I'm only 40, so,
Okay.
ugh, but we had, like, computer classes, but we did not have laptops in school. We did not have tablets. We did not have phones. We didn't have touch phones. My first phone was a flip phone Razor,
Yeah.
kind of phone
I loved
thing.
those. I had a pink one.
But see, that's cool. I had a black one, but it had the moving fish front, the light
Oh,
moved. Yeah, it was really cool. I
love
got in
it.
a lot of
Okay.
trouble for buying that on the internet. Um, but I feel
That's
like
so
it's
funny.
one of those things, like, we learned to use them and it's a lot better, and so, like, I feel like AI should be treated the same way. It's a tool, it's a tool, it's a tool. I just think there has to be rules, obviously. You can't use it to write your entire paper or answer every math question, but
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, do you know how many times I've used the Pythagorean theorem in my life? None. And if I
Yeah.
need to, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. So why are we not just teaching them what you and I are trying to do, which is learn how to utilize it? Why are we teaching them how to freehand math questions? Why don't you teach them how to do complicated math questions with AI?
Yeah. Yes, and that's so true. And my daughter, she did a lot of homeschooling because she was like in that COVID dip, like where they sent everybody home, and then she ended up kind of staying homeschooling, and we did an online curriculum, and so your teachers are less accessible to you. I mean, they're only so accessible when you're in a classroom with 30 kids, but that's a different argument. But anyways, so at that time they had something called Khan Academy where it was like early stage AI to get help with math. And that stuff was really useful. And now like they use AI for help with anything and everything.
Yeah.
And
It seems
it meets them where they are because if they have an account and they've been using it, it knows them, the whole thing, just like you said. So
I
I don't think
I
we're
agree.
going to be at a point where everyone's going to probably need to know how to use it at some point, you know?
I agree. And I kind of
I know.
like I don't know if this is like kind of what you want on your segment, but since we're talking about education, I will tell you, I went through mainstream school, public school, and the things I didn't learn was how to budget, how to apply for my first mortgage, my first home. I
Mhm.
didn't learn to interview. I didn't learn how to write a resume. I didn't learn to cook or how to prepare, like how to fix my car if my car broke down. But like I said, I learned the Pythagorean theorem, which is cool. And I learned
So
Chem
helpful.
Law, which is great. But I'm like, why are we doing that? Why are we? Because nobody. I mean, do you even write down a math problem anymore? Do you?
No,
I don't. Go straight to
no,
my phone. So why are we
exactly.
wasting time teaching kids how to do that? Because I will tell you, as a business owner hiring this newer generation, they have no idea how to do a lot of things.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
amazing.
Okay. I can totally relate to you. But I haven't had to hire a lot of people a while, but in the past I did. And I was like, how did they come out of college not knowing how to write a business email that's like
I know.
concise and friendly, you know?
I know.
And that was like just a basic thing to me. That I was like, okay, we're not covering this in school clearly.
Right. And I feel like if we could pivot the idea of like how to use AI, how to use like how to be honestly instead of like learning these things, which don't get me wrong, they're important to like know, but I think training these kids on tools and tasks that you're never going to use again because you have something,
Yeah.
you have something right here that'll tell you how to do it. Why
I
don't we
know.
use all of these tools, learn how to do it? You cannot show up in an interview in pajamas. You just can't. How do you have a conversation? If you're in customer service, how do you answer a phone call when you're not like,
Yes.
well, what a day? And like this
Beth.
really, yeah,
Okay, this is a whole thing. Not knowing how to answer a phone, how to greet people, how to make eye contact, how to end a phone call. Like, that's a whole thing right now, right?
it is.
Do you think it's
It
because
really,
of COVID though, or do you think it's an educational failing? Or both, or parents? I don't know.
I think it is a lot of both. I think, first of all, I think, and this is totally like, I'm not looking for pitchforks for this, but I think the education I think teachers are amazing and I think they're underpaid, but I also think the mainstream schools are so worried about getting their revenue that they're just training these kids to take these tests. They have to pass the star there. I almost said the tax test. I almost aged myself. The star test.
Yeah, I know what you meant though.
Oh, they don't teach these kids anything. And then once they get those checks marks, great. Like I will tell you, my husband is the one of the smartest men I have ever met. The things that he retains, he could tell you where we watching a movie, and he'll tell you whatever war movie we're watching, what gun that is, when it was manufactured, when it was started, what war it came from, who created it,
Wow.
what caliber. That to me, I'm like, that's why didn't you know that? But it's incredible. But I'll tell you one thing, he struggled so much. They thought he was stupid in school because
Wow.
he didn't take tests. He didn't test well.
Oh
But
yeah.
he's the smartest man in the world. And I feel like we're failing our children so much because if they don't know how to take a test, they fail. You fail.
Yeah. And the other problem it's created, at least in Texas, is that we pretty much teach two topics. Everything else is like doesn't it's not important. So I mean, I with my daughter, I had to teach her like, investing and, managing rental properties and business
Absolutely.
stuff and communications. Like we were just talking about like greeting people and, just social skills and things like that. So They're definitely, and she had the benefit of some amount of private school education also, which was a blessing because you know what they taught there that she didn't get wouldn't have gotten in public school? Time management, how to schedule, block their calendars for their work and like manage their own work throughout the week. And so by the time she started college, she didn't need, I mean, it was no problem. It was seamless for her.
I think that's incredible. Now, I do think the main, math, science, what that's important, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
dogging her, but I think
Yeah.
the focus is wrong. I think the
Yeah.
focus is all wrong. You're training these kids to pass a test. What you're not doing is how to survive. Because I will tell you, high school goes by in a blip of an eye, and the next thing you
Yeah.
know, you're thrown into the world that you have no idea what you're doing. You're
Hmm.
winging it. And that's
Yep.
and luckily, like, I have amazing supportive parents that really helped me, and it sounds like you're one of those too. But what if you don't? What if you don't? And now
There
you've
are a lot of
graduated.
kids that don't, and they don't usually do very well, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people wonder, "Oh, this generation's lazy." No, this generation is lost.
Yeah.
This generation is lost, and it is honestly, it is our fault because we've allowed the past to not catch up with the future. We need to be teaching these kids how to utilize AI, how to do these things, how to
Yeah.
get ready for adulthood so they can
Yeah.
have realistic goals and expectations so when they go out into the workforce, they know not to show up in jammies to their interviews. They know how to take an interview, take a phone call that doesn't, I mean, it's incredible. I really can't even go into like this new generation, the things that I'm just like,
Yeah.
you can't do that. Like, you can't do that in a professional setting. Or like you can't tell your boss when you're gonna be off. You request a day off. Like little things like that. Like
Yeah.
the world, it's a very broken system. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's not laziness, it's truly the lack of education. It
Yeah.
really, and I feel like if the mainstream education source could teach AI and can teach how to utilize like what we're trying to learn just on our free time, can you imagine? And these kids would absorb it in 2.5 seconds.
Oh,
These
yeah.
but these
So fast.
these kids would literally they'd be building websites and dashboards. I mean, they could literally be creating multi-million dollars worth of like stuff. I don't even know. I can't even think of the word because they are so smart and they were born with technology in their hand. Unlike you and me, we're new to this. We're like learning it on the back end. And like you said, I didn't grow up with computers and things like that. We went
Yeah.
outside and rode our bikes.
Yeah.
And so I think if we have to wake up to the realization that that isn't going to happen, that's not the world we're in anymore. But why are we
Right.
failing these? Why are we
I,
failing these kids? Why
yeah.
are we telling them to use this and use this piece of notebook paper and figure out this math problem? No, let me tell you how to prompt AI to figure out the math problem and how to ask it all these other questions and build a whole house. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
Totally. I totally know what you mean. Yeah. And that's such a good point. But it's almost like, okay, so you might have to teach your kids some AI because they may not get it in school because the education system struggles to adapt anyway. Like if you think about how long it took them to like figure out how to incorporate IT into higher education. And then so the faster something moves, the harder it is for them to incorporate. So AI is moving so fast. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And I'm glad that I've already taught my daughter AI and I can kind of observe it. I'm be interested to watch it as you go through it with young ones, like having to navigate that. And who knows, hopefully it won't just end up like on the top of a pile of things that we wish they were teaching. Maybe they'll actually get somewhere on it. I hope so.
hope so
Yeah.
too. And I mean, if anything, I really hope it's giving these teachers peace, because teachers, they are overworked, right? And so
Yes.
I at least hope that I don't know the rules, but I hope they're at least able to help have ChatGPT or have AI help them build their plans and their schedules and things like that. I just
Girl, I do not know. I didn't the last person I interviewed for this series was a college professor who's very pro AI and he's like and doing a lot of his research with it. Um, a lot of the professors are refusing to use it. And this is like a major state institution. So if you have the same level of resistance in K through 12, maybe not everybody's on board yet, even though it's available, you know? We just keep talking to everybody about it, and everybody will like get excited and want to start using it.
I think so
I'll just have
too.
to
I think
champion it.
Yeah, no, and I'm totally cool with it because, like, I mean, even my mom, she's one of those it's like, "Oh, I don't know, it's really scary." It's really weird that that word keeps coming up when you talk about
Scary?
AI. AI is
That's the
scary.
word? Huh.
Scary is the word that I get is they don't understand it. It's scary. And I don't know if it's scary because they don't know how to use it or if it's scary again
Yeah.
because it we came up with the mindset that like it's gonna take our jobs. But I hear a lot when I talk about like old with the kind of the I don't want to say old because that's rude, but like the more mature generation
Yeah.
is very much like, no, don't, I don't want it. It's
Mhm.
and I wonder if the professors are kind of that same
The
mindset,
same
like,
age range. It could
yeah.
be true. You know what the other thing is too, though? A lot of the same people, like my parents for sure, they're older, they're like later 70s. They're actually using it, but they don't know it. So, because they're all used to going to Google and searching
Mhm.
things. And now Google's putting the Gemini results on the page, and then they're asking subsequent questions, not realizing that they're interacting with AI already. They just think of it as Google.
That's interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I wonder if your mom is like using it and doesn't realize it too. Not that she's
I
as old as
think
mine, but
I'm actually never had the conversation because she actually she works for Lockheed Martin. She's a contractor for Lockheed Martin. And so I think she has to have security clearances. And
oh
so
yeah.
I'm not sure and that might be why it's scary for her too, because it could be a data breach type thing
Yeah.
for her. And so that's, I totally get that. But I would be curious to see if I don't know if they're utilizing it. I doubt it. But I don't know, like, why not? So I'm not sure, but because she works for the government and like all of that, if it
Yeah.
would be different. But I think she doesn't even realize because I cannot wait to tell her about all my dashboards and all my things. But the problem is I don't know if she would have that ability to be able to utilize that software and stuff like that. But I'd be
That's
curious
true.
to
Especially while at work. Well,
yeah.
I think your kiddos are ready for you to hop up at this
Yeah.
call and go spend some time with them. I can't tell
Yeah.
you how much I appreciate your time, Beth.
Of
This has been
course.
so fun.
No, it's been great, and I can't wait to learn all the things. I'll keep you posted on all the fun things that I keep
Yeah.
learning and growing and all of that, but, it's just I think it's one of those things, like you said, we have to champion it, we have to spearhead it, because if we can prove that it can be utilizable and functional, which it already is, but if it's, like, to the layman user that is use it more than Google, like, use it more than a Google search.
Yeah.
Use it more. You can get so much time back because that's one thing you don't ever get back in life is
Right.
time. And
And that's
so
part of why I'm doing that practical AI for business newsletter and just trying to do like many little trainings. Like it's really
yeah,
easy. Just do this because there's this big stigma around it, I think. So I totally agree with your perspective on that. So
yeah.
I love
So
it.
I'm super
Thank you for
excited.
your
Of
time. We
course,
got to do
thank
it
you.
again.
All the tangents, but it was a lot of fun. So
No, that's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us in this episode of AI in the Wild. See you next time.